Today on Drawbli,
Ben is drawing a dreamy girl.
click that subscribe button if you are new around here.
And comment below with ideas of what we can do to improve as artists.
Yes, I'm drawing a dreamy girl.
Ben, why all artists draw just girls?
Why all artists draw girl?
Just girls, just pretty girls.
Why girl draw artist?
Why artists, girls, pretty draw them?
Why?
Why?
That's a great question. I think because internet like girl.
And artists like attention.
And artists like it. I think you should draw things that you enjoy, things that you're interested in. I'm interested in girl.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm interested in women and long walks on the beach.
Yes, which is why we have painted beaches in the past.
Yes.
I paint beaches and I paint beaches. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yes, so I am drawing pretty girl.
I too draw pretty girl. I too.
Yes, you do draw pretty girl. That is true. Why artists? Wait, all artists draw pretty girl?
All artists draw pretty girl? Question mark.
I think maybe. But one thing I was really intentional with here that I would like to say is during these early stages, this first minute or so that we've seen fly by pretty quick, I really did something different, which is you can see that I'm zoomed out this whole time. And I even have the canvas smaller on my screen, and I was holding the iPad pretty far away as I did that. And only now do I zoom in and start blending some of these things.
That is a great technique.
So I was really trying to get the big stuff down first, just in terms of proportions and placement, you know? I talk about that when I'm making 3D art all the time. And I was like, I need to do this. I need to listen to my own advice on 2D art that I say with 3D art.
Yeah. So, is that hard to do?
It's just so very different, and you don't have the experience. It's just it's different. It's a different medium. It's different.
As we've continued to draw, do you feel like learning an art all over again like this? Does it give you a new and fresh perspective for people who follow you as a sculptor and want to learn from you as a sculptor who are themselves starting out on that journey?
Maybe a little, but I would say in general, no, just because the content that I create, I remember being a bad sculptor. I remember being horrible at 3D art. Little eye duplication trick, you see that?
You did, very nice.
So that stuff is not far away from my memory enough that I'm oh, screw you guys, you just need to work harder. No, I create content for myself in the past, essentially. This is the kind of stuff on my Polygon channel and the tutorials that I create that I wish existed when I was learning. This is hey, here's, you might think you want to know how to make, I don't know.
Pretty girl.
One specific thing, let's say pretty girl, sure. But you need to slow your roll and you need to learn some foundational stuff first. So that's, kind of, I have that mentality here with 2D art as well, where I'm I need the foundational practice. I just need to get that hour count up. We've started doing Ahmed Aldori's class. We've started going through that, and that's a lot of fun. It's giving us some good foundational practice. It's giving some filling in of gaps, let's call it.
Absolutely. I'm learning a lot.
Things that, maybe we've heard or known, but, it's good to concretely hear them and then immediately go practice them. So yeah, I mean, I would say no. In general, I do feel like I still have the new artist close to heart.
Yeah, I think you do too. I would agree with that, absolutely. I think your tutorials are very much let me take you by the hand and hold your hand and hold it very closely, and we're going to walk through this together. Every step of the way, we're together on this, and I'm showing you every step. At least that's how your tutorials are. I mean, some stuff, of course, are more time-lapse style-esque.
My YouTube videos, because I have, I don't know, 20 plus 30, I don't know, depends on what the character is, a ton of hours of footage. I can't just sit there and talk over every very specific step.
Right.
I don't have the time to do that. It would take me forever. That's more so, what my other stuff is for.
Absolutely. She's coming along so well.
Thank you. Yeah, much like with 3D art, here with 2D art, it moves a lot faster, so the early, like, super ugly, awkward stages kind of go by a little faster. There's definitely some weird awkwardness going on in the face, and it kind of stays there till the end. But I do improve it. I do make it a little better.
Yeah, I think you do a great job with this one. This one's really fun to look at, and I think you did an awesome job.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Faces in general are really hard for us. Do you feel like you've improved at faces?
I've improved. That's what I'll say. I wouldn't say like I'm happy and content with my ability to do faces yet.
Absolutely.
I have a long ways to go. I can get across a passable face that if it's just like a placeholder, like, hey, this person needs a face.
We are placeholder face painters.
Yes.
We're background character artists.
Ooh, I like that.
They kind of blur them out in the background, so you can't really make them out. That's our job. That's who we're making.
That's perfect, because I think that's about where I'm at. Although not to cast any shade on the very talented work of actual background artists. That's a whole science unto itself, isn't it?
Yeah, background art is different than like what I'm making fun of us for, like creating a character that's in the background that's like out of focus. That's our current skill level. But yeah, I mean, every time I make a face, it's kind of a crapshoot where it's like, am I going to do good this time? Am I not? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, every time we create something, every time anybody creates something, there's gonna be like this range of your own ability that you fall into, and you're not always gonna be like hitting the mark at like the best of your ability.
Absolutely.
You have a range of like what you're going to be able to do. And sometimes you're gonna fall on the lower end of that spectrum. And the more you do, like the smaller that range gets, like the more consistent you get, but also like the more skilled you get in general. So it just like improves. Yeah. Oh, I did some color correction here that I wanted to mention that I really, really liked. I was really enjoying it. You know how I like to do all my color correction stuff at the end and just kind of play around.
Yeah, it brings a lot of unity, doesn't it?
What I did this time was I just focused on my artwork. Normally when I do that, I look at the reference and I'm like, oh, trying to match some colors maybe a little closer. This time I was just like, hey, I'm just going to try to find something that feels really good. Especially after doing our apple paintings, if you guys haven't checked that out yet. That was something that I played around with a lot during that time. So I definitely got to practice that a little more here with this piece. So I was pretty happy with the colors. It felt maybe a little bright and blown out here at the very end, but I still really, really enjoyed this piece.
No, yeah, I do too. It was really fun. I think something I had fun with was after you'd worked on it for a while, you handed it to me and I just got to play with it for a little bit, like rendering little pieces here and there.
Oh, that's right.
How I would.
Yeah, when we were at the coffee shop.
And that was fun, yeah. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was a little earlier in the process. I think you mainly so you did some stuff on the face.
I did a little bit of the under eye area.
Yes, you created a little bit of darkness.
And I played with the nose a little bit, but I didn't like anything I did with the nose.
I think I kept everything that you did, all the little tweaks that you made, except for the mouth. I ended up erasing that completely because that was my next thing that I was going to work on.
Fair enough. Yes, absolutely.
Facial features are difficult. They're very, very difficult.
Yes, and I feel like they're so individualized just as how we go about them as artists, you know? Everybody has a certain way they like to do certain parts of the face.
Yeah, one I believe that we have an assignment coming up in the Ahmed El-Dori class where we are going to draw noses from a bunch of different angles, which is I thought was hilarious because one of my first, like I think my very first assignment in my quick start sculpting guide is sculpting a nose. And it's when people ask me like, hey, I'm brand new, like what do I need to, like what should I be doing? I'm like, you need to sculpt noses. It is complicated enough of a shape where it's going to be hard for you, but it's simple enough that you should be able to do it.
I like that you said that because it's actually been on my mind lately to do an extended nose study and just try to draw and paint and render a bunch of noses. Maybe what I'll do, I had an idea. I'll do that before I watch the Ahmed El-Douri lesson on it and then after, and we can see the difference and how much I improve. Ooh, yes, good idea.
Also, what's great about noses is that you can kind of jank up a nose pretty bad, but it's still gonna look like somebody's nose.
Yeah.
With eyes and lips, it gets a little, more
There we
difficult
get a little,
for that.
you're like, oh, here's somebody, but I'm sorry.
Yes, but I'm very, very apologetic for this nose. If you guys also remember from the Apple video, one thing that I played around with was blending edges, and I do that here at the end, and I think it is really cool. Like it really helps drive focus towards the face. I think it makes actually a huge difference in this painting. So you can see like a little bit of that here at the end. But it's something that I want to incorporate more into my work. I really love that controlled focal area, like focus feel. That's something that I just want to try a little more.
I love always watching you work with color too. Everything you do to like bring in color is so unexpected to me, different from what I do all the time.
And there is my finished girl with all of her blended edges and such.
Ah, she looks so good. You are coming a long way as an artist. I love this.
We both are. Yeah, there's a lot of fun texture in it. Yeah. And more to come soon.
Yes, stay tuned. If you liked what you saw here today, hit that subscribe button for more Pretty Girl done by artist.
Is artist pretty girl?
Is artist pretty girl? Are artist girl pretty do the art? Comment
below as well with some ideas or suggestions of what we could draw in the future, and do also comment pretty girl down below. That would be very helpful, so we know what you want. And this is the part where we say
goodbye.
Goomba.
If artist pretty girl,
if girl artist pretty,
will art be not? No.
No. I think we've lost the plot.